Okay, so hello everyone. Thank you to join us today. So it's Software Craft Romandie. It's the software craftsmanship community in the French part of Switzerland, where mostly people speak English or French. There's a big community of English people or foreigners in the region. This is mostly the reason. And sometimes we have people from the German side that's maybe not know French. So it's better for us to make that presentation in English. Mostly in a remote, we do in English. Otherwise, we have local events in 3 cities, Lausanne, Geneva, and Sion. Geneva is going to come out with new events next year. This is the last event for this year. So you're the lucky person, Yoan and Guillaume, on the last event. Next year, we have already a few person that confirmed that's going to come. We know that in February, we're going to have Frédéric Langlois, something like this. It's a specialist in, I think he's coming from Belgium too, and is a specialist about no estimate. So he's going to have a presentation from him. And I'm still talking with a few other speakers to look who we're going to get. For sure, we're going to have Khaled Souf. He's going to make a presentation. He did already in Sion, so he's going to do again in Lausanne and in Geneva, as he became the co-organizer with me for the Geneva region. For who doesn't know Khaled, Souf is the co-organizer. He was the co-organizer of the craft community in Montreal, and is the co-founder of the Socrates Canada. So people from the community may know him. At least I was a few weeks ago in Berlin, and a lot of people knew him. So he's famous. We have a famous guy with us. He's not going to be with us tonight because he's under traffic. You need to come back home. Okay, so that's all for me. I'm going to let Yoan and Guillaume have your time for you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for introduction, and thank you for the welcome words. Let's start our talk with a small introduction. Please, Guillaume, can you introduce yourself?
I can, because I'm not famous. So I think that's necessary. So my name is Guillaume. I'm a .NET developer advocate at Vonage. I work on communication APIs, basically. And I have almost 15 years of experience in software development in .NET, in C# most of the time, a little bit in F# as well for fun. And I've been technical coach, I've been lead dev, I've been senior engineer, etc., etc. So that's basically it.
Yeah, and on my side, so I am Yoan THIRION. So I am an agile technical coach. I'm working for myself. I'm freelance, and I work for companies like insurance, bank, and a lot of companies that you can find here at Luxembourg. So it's the kind of business that we have here at Luxembourg. And so I try to help teams as much as I can regarding how they can apply different kind of practices to be as efficient as possible. So it can be a TDD, it can be depending on the context. Depending on the context, we can try a lot of stuff, and that's it for me. Let's say it like this. I don't want to spend 1 hour. We don't want to spend 1 hour on it. So we are
don't
here
have time for that.
Yeah, we don't have time for that. We are here to talk about something really cool. We find it really cool with Guillaume. So we wanted to share what we have called Xtreme TDD with you today. So basically, Xtreme TDD is a way to share part of our knowledge and to try to reduce the learning curve of developers regarding practices that saved our lives in the past few years. Let's say it like this. So what is Xtreme TDD? You will understand more deeply during this session, because we'll make some demo of it. We'll make some live coding. The idea with Xtreme TDD, we have created a workshop format with a knowledge base that you can use in your team to discover some practices, discover some patterns, discover some useful tips regarding software development. And the idea is to do it by playing, because we have an escape game based on cards that you can find on the internet. We will send you the links. And the idea is really with the kata is to practice again, and do it by using. We highly recommend you if you want to do this kata. You will see there are a lot of steps, there are a lot of contents. We have spent 2 days last week or 2 weeks ago to demonstrate, I don't know, 8 steps from the workshop. So we have, for now, we have what we call steps. We don't have 12 of them. And
basically the idea behind those steps is to use TDD as a baseline, but also use TDD to discover something else. And we have basically one major topic by step. This is what we call steps. Yeah,
that's it. And in 2 days, we have the time to explore only 8 steps. So we have content for, we need an extra one for sure. Yeah. If you want to do it in your company, you can do it really in isolation. So each steps are independent from each other. So you will see, and you will understand how. But it's really something that you can really promote in your company. And if you want to experiment it, we highly recommend you to use at least pair programming, but we highly recommend to use what we call mob programming. I don't know if you have already experimented it. It's what we call also, we can call it ensemble programming. It's the same it's the same idea. It's basically pair programming, but at the scale of a team, or at the scale of a group of people. So a group starts at 2, but for 2 people, we have the word pair programming, but we highly recommend you to try it with at least 3 or more people. So mob programming, same ideas than pair programming. You have 2 roles, a driver and navigator. The driver is the one behind the wheel. It controls the person controls the machine, and we have a navigator. It doesn't act directly on the machine itself, but takes a step back and let's say give some instructions to the driver. And when
the
you
cool
do
thing
it,
about all that is that you're going to have a demo of a driver navigator fashion today, because this is what we'll do with Yoan, and we played Shifumi just before, and he'll be the driver, I'll be the navigator.
Yeah. And if you do it, if you want to use mob programming, so you have in pair programming, you have driver and navigator. We recommend to add two other roles, but you can try it. You can define your own roles if you want, but we recommend to start with the notion of scribe. If you want to add a role, it's someone who write down the goals of each cycle in a tool called mob time or on post-its. It doesn't matter. We don't care about it. And take the note about the decision that we have made as a mob. As a mob, a group of people, we take some decision. Okay, why we have taken this decision, and we document it. And you can have what we call an architect, people that will write down all the refactoring suggestion. Okay, we have identified it, but we are in a refactoring, or we are in a TDD loop, and we want to do it later. So maybe we can suggest refactoring just by adding some sticky notes somewhere. So you can try it like this. And so we have a code base for what we will demonstrate today. So what we have called Xtreme TDD, and we have as well an escape game if you want to try it. It's basically something that you can use. So it's based on cards. If you have already played a game like named Unlock, it's famous in France, and it's in French, I think. You are maybe familiar with it. It's the same kind of principle, it's the same kind of game, same mechanism. And the idea is really to have an escape game based on cards that will guide you through all the steps, and that will remind you some stuff that you have learned during the step. So it's basically a facilitator for you, a facilitator on cards. We have physical cards, but we have also a My Robot that you can use. We have a PDF with the facilitation guide if you want to run it, and if you want to have a solution as well. And yes, because we use a repository, a Git repository with source code We have created, because when you run, if you have already used some code kata, if you have already practiced some code kata, maybe something frustrating for you was to not have a solution or point of view of the author of the kata on the solution, on the possible solution. So what we have done with Guillaume, because we had this frustration and we wanted to promote something that could be spread widely and that could be used in many companies, we have documented each steps with a solution, a potential solution in 2 languages, in Java and C#. And for each step, we have documented, okay, what was our reflection for each step? Let's say for the first one, mutation testing. Okay, what were the steps what we needed to implement to successfully fulfill the expectation from this step? So we have clearly documented it, and it's open source in our repository. For each step, you have it, and you have branches as well. You can go from one step to another with the final state of this step.
It is also the step-by-step guide is also detailed enough so that my grandmother could do it by herself. I mean, it's we really went quite far into the details over there. So you don't need to know something in advance. You can just go with the flow and try to catch up as we go. So basically, for the problem itself, because it is basically a workshop in a kata and it has a story behind. We started from the money problem from Salim Siddiqui in his book Learning Test-Driven Development. The only thing is we brought the exercise in different directions. So the idea is to build a stock portfolio. So I think most of you have been probably working in finance, so I think this should be quite easy for you to catch up with. So basically, we want to have currencies, monies in different currencies in a portfolio, and we want to be able to evaluate the portfolio in a specific currency. So let's say I have euros, USDs, and other currencies, and I want to verify the value of my portfolio in, I don't know, Korean wons, for example. I want to be able to do that. So that's the idea. So when we start the workshop, we hand over already like a code base that has been written by us that contains 2 things: a money calculator that allows you to apply operation on amounts of the same currencies, so you can multiply euros, you can divide USDs, etc., etc., and a bank which allows you to convert money from a currency to another one. So that's what we hand over, and the workshop starts there. So today we're not going to start from the first step. I'll catch up later on where we are and why. I just want to make a small reminder of TDD, so test-driven development. So it is software practice, and it's very close to a scientific approach in a way that you start by writing an hypothesis and trying, and then observing the results. And if it doesn't fit what you want, you try something else, and you retry and you retry and retry. So it's not something like a madman created in his cave. It's something very pragmatic. It's a 3-phase process. So you may have heard about the red-green refactor or the fail, pass, refactor cycle, which is basically just 3 steps of the TDD cycle. I can do it. So basically, we start from red step. The idea behind that is this is what initiates our cycle, and we need to start by a failing test. So it means we need to have something that is not done yet with our test. So, and it's either a new feature or a change of something existing, modifying the existing behavior to something that is not implemented yet. Then the idea is to move into what we call the green phase. So as soon as you have a test that is failing, the goal is to make it pass as fast as possible. This step is a bit counterintuitive. It seems counterintuitive at the beginning because you need to go as fast as you can. This is the only priority that we have. You have to go extremely fast. So it means you need to be at this stage the ugly developer, the one that you don't like, the one that you hate, the one that copy pastes, that hard codes value, duplicates, and all of that, because you'll have time to make it better after that. Finally, we have the blue phase. So at this step, you have your test, which is your expectation, and it's green, so it works. You are in the place that you want to be. This is basically Disneyland in a way, because you are covered by a test, and now you can do whatever you want, and you will know if what you do is working or not. So this is where it gets very interesting for us, and I think this is where us developers get the most of fun. The only stuff we need to be careful about that is we don't need to add new behaviors from this step. That's very important. We have 3 rules from Uncle Bob over there. They may differ depending on the author. For example, Ken Beck and Martin Fowler, they focus more on refactoring. Uncle Bob focus more on the step of the rule. And basically, it's the different rules we have to follow during this cycle. I just want to say something about the diagram. We won't go through everything over there because it's way too big. What you need to remember here, the refactor phase is the biggest one. Okay, the red phase is small, the green phase is super small, and the refactor one is the one where we spend the most of time. So that's basically it for the basics of TDD. So Yoan, maybe you can show the different steps that we have to go through. This way I can explain. So the first step after we hand over the workshop basically is to introduce mutation testing. So we consider this one done at this stage. And the second one is to implement a portfolio, the first, let's say, implementation of the portfolio, and we consider it done as well at this stage, because we're going to start with the third step, which is fighting primitive obsession. This is what we're going to do today. We'll try to go through everything with this one.
Yeah.
And then we'll come back to this to detail a bit more about the rest.
Yeah, and just for you to know, we start our workshop by something called mutation testing. I don't know if you are all familiar with that, but basically we can abstract it or resume it by saying, okay, it's a way to measure the quality of our unit tests. And we have lied a little bit in our README or Markdown files, because we said, okay, we have implemented our features using TDD, but it wasn't the case, and we have made on purpose. We have some tests that are really shitty, but are really poor quality inside, and we wanted to promote it from the beginning. Sometimes you can go on a code base, think that you have a safety net because you have a high code coverage metric, but it's not necessarily the case. So code coverage is really a good negative indicator. That means that if you have 0% of code coverage, you know that you have something to do. But it's a really bad positive one. Meaning that even if you have 100% of coverage, doesn't mean that you have a safety net to refactor or to change stuff inside the code base.
It's a quantity metric.
It's a quantity metrics, and the mutation testing can be seen as a qualitative metrics. So we wanted to promote it, and in the first step, you will discover if you want to take a look at the.
You should try mutation testing. That I think the takeaway from the step.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, let's try it by yourself. Yeah. So that's why, each steps are built on each other, and we try to add some new concept in each step. So let's start by the one you mentioned. So we will fight primitive obsession. So as you can see, please go ahead. Yeah.
So basically here, the thing is, so to give you, because we won't be able to show you directly all the code and guide you through everything, every statement and stuff. So what we say here is that we observed that we used like a lot of primitive types in the system, and there are like couples that we can see everywhere. So I will spoil a bit, but basically we have a couple which is a double amount and a currency value that are duplicated everywhere, and this is called primitive obsession. And what we want people to do in this step is to look at every couple over there and see if we can, for example, introduce a value object for that to give more domain value on our code. So Yoan, you can open the knowledge base. So every step that we have over there, every topic we have on the knowledge base, a dedicated page to help you with it. Okay, so we have more because we extended it a bit. But the idea is here, you should be able to learn what primitive obsession is, why it's bad, and what can you do to solve it, and what problems does it fixes. So that's basically the idea. So here, what we want to do is really that, give more meaningful domain knowledge to our code and to make the code more readable, etc., etc., etc.
Yep. So everyone is familiar with it. We can go on the code. I don't see. I don't see the question on my side. So
I have the chat open, and if we have questions,
perfect.
I'll put them on the mirror on my side.
Okay, cool.
You're the one doing the work today, so I'll have time to do that.
Yeah. So before we do this step, so we find primitive obsession, we just want to show you what is the status and what the code looks like at the moment. So I can I can show you the hierarchy. So we have some classes in what we call domain. We have a bank. We have currency. Currency is just an enum containing USD, Euro, and Korean wons. We have two kinds of exceptions. We don't care at this point. We have a money calculator. It's basically an util class. And as you can see, we have something bad here. It says something. It says is said by our IntelliJ, saying that this currency is not used. And as you can see here, you talked about it, Guillaume. Yeah, we have clear one couple here, another one here. And if we take a look at the bank, we have this kind of stuff as well in the convert method. We have a couple here, amount from. We have it as well in a portfolio, amount currency, and so on and so on. So we have this couple everywhere. So basically, in terms of responsibility, the bank is responsible. If we take a look at the structure of the class, what is exposed as in public. So let's say here it's a factory method that makes it possible to instantiate a bank. We can add exchange rate in a bank, and we can convert from an amount in double from a currency to another currency. That's basically the idea of the bank. Currency is just an enum. Other stuff are utils and exceptions. And the portfolio itself, we can add a couple amount currency inside the portfolio. So you can see it as a physical portfolio, for example. And we can evaluate our portfolio in a given currency based on a bank that we pass as an argument of the method with the evaluate method.
Something I just want to add before we go right in, it's the code we have there is working. We have 100% coverage and we have 100% mutation score. So it's a working solution, okay? The phase that we are in right now is purely refactoring. We don't have any behavior at all during this step because the idea is to make the code better. We are working for us right now, not for the business or for whoever.
Not directly for a business, at least, yeah.
Not directly, but I mean,
yeah.
I mean.
Yeah. So where do we start?
I think the easiest spot would be from the money calculator, the utils class.
Yeah.
So I mean, so we have the couple double amount and currency. So I think it could be good to, you know, I mean, create something from that, like a money based on the exercise that we have would sounds good.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Okay. So what I can do from here, yeah, because in the workshop we want to promote as well our tooling. So for the first step, we will by using the money by going from the money calculator to the money to introduce the money, we will use a lot of refactoring included inside IntelliJ. So if you use another IDE, you will find maybe the equivalent. You have the equivalent in Rider. I don't remember the name exactly, but you have it. And you can have this kind of refactoring inside other tools. But for today, we will demonstrate some of them with IntelliJ.
Yeah, so yeah, as you said, it's for people working in C#, which is my case. Everything that we're going to show here is available in Rider as well. Some of them in Visual Studio, but far from everything. The only thing is on writer, the wording is a bit different because here introduce parameter object, in writer it's convert something, which I don't know why they changed, but I mean, yeah.
So what we will do is create a new class from it. So we have this option. So we can say, okay, I want to introduce parameter object from a method, and I say, okay, I want to create a new class. And here it says exactly, okay, we have some parameters to extract, and you can select, okay, which kind of parameters I want inside my new class. And here, what we want to isolate is really the couple, amount, and currency. So I select them, and I just say, you can preview, but I will do the refactoring to be faster. And
we like to live on the edge.
Yeah. Okay. So what was the result of this refactoring, automated refactoring? As you can see in the method, it has changed. It says, okay, now you can pass some money, and I return money.amount times. And if you take a look at the impact on the test, it's really powerful what you can do with IntAG. So basically, we have only one consumer or one client from this method, and it has made the refactoring for me. So it was a first step. So I have now a record called money. So it's one of the cool feature.
Yeah, you just said it. It's smart enough to realize that we can make a recall type out of it. That's very interesting.
So it has done it for me, and what we can do now is to say, okay, now I want to know it, to not have a static method, but I want to encapsulate the operation I can do on the money inside the money itself. So another cool stuff that you can do.
While you go there, I just want to explain that having a helper class is like a bad design overall, because the thing is normally if you have a utils class, it's a symptom that you are not able to know, you don't know where it belongs actually. And that's a smell. So here the idea is to create value objects where that has a meaning. The idea is not to have anemic classes as well. It's to give them meaning, but give them also something to do. And in that case, for example, like Yoan is about to do, it makes sense to move that directly on the money, and it will make actually the code much easier and smaller.
Yeah, and another thing that is really cool is I have moved the method, so it's available in IntAG and Rider as well. So you can say, okay, I want to move it, and basically I said, okay, I want to move it in the code called money, and I can say as well, it's still a static method, but I have moved it, so it's more cohesive. Let's say it like this, and now I can say, yeah, there is no shortcut for it, but I can say convert it to instance method. Okay, refactor, and take a look at the impact on the test. New money.times 2. If you take a look at this, it was exactly the same kind of stuff with times here. So now I have something called, okay, I have a new money, I call times 2, and that's it.
Also, what you need to realize is, I mean, if you have to do that by yourself, it's quite a hassle. You have to do a lot of things, you break the code as you move on, etc. The fact that the IDE is able to do that directly, it's safe. While every change we make is unsafe, because you have the human error, you can forget something, etc. Here it's fast and it's safe. So it means we know it's working. Otherwise, the IDE won't take the chance to do it. And that's super powerful.
I haven't showed you, but I don't remember the shortcut because I changed too much of keyboard and so on. But yeah, I can run the test all the way. It will be still green for each step I will make with automated refactoring. So what you can do is use the same introduce parameter object and say, okay, instead of creating a new class, I say, okay, I want to use an existing one. So you can introduce a parameter object, and you take amount in currency, and now it comes from money. Yeah, continue. Yeah, sometimes it fails because it's I don't know why records are not well implemented still in IntAG. Sometimes you have some failure like this, and I can say, okay, I want to move it as well. So I can say F6. Okay, I want to move this method to money, and refactor. Now my class is not yet necessary, so I can remove it. I can, before doing it, I will just run my test.
Another thing also really interesting over here is that the IDE is telling you everything. the fact that the class is not used, the fact that parameters are not used, and you can also save delete. So again,
Yeah.
it's safe. We should do that.
And I will rename my test. By the way, we won't talk about it today, but we have some bad practices inside our naming of tests and stuff like this. But it's not the purpose of today. But yeah, avoid to have this kind of warning test or stuff like this. Yeah. What I will do, yeah. So it's not available here. I need to go there and say, okay, I want to convert it as an instance method. Okay. So what was the impact on the test? Divide 4. Okay.
Well,
what is the next
run
step?
them already?
Yeah.
Can you? Yeah. Okay.
It's in progress. Yeah. Okay. Cool. We still
well,
have
the next
this.
step is, yeah. So now we can. I think it's even more obvious if you look at the test directly, because we have a money, like we have 10 euros and we do ×2 and it returns an amount. So it's like we're able to put data into a value object and we have an operation on the value object, but we are losing value when we are doing times on it. So I think it would be interesting also to return the money, because if I do 10 euros ×2, I should have 20 euros, not just 20.
Yep. So I don't know. I will check just. Let's do a strangler for it. Yeah.
You like challenges.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, it will fail. I know for sure that it will fail from IntelliJ. So
okay.
Yeah, we can do it by
Strangle then.
Yeah.
So Strangler is maybe you can open the page as well.
Yeah.
How lucky are we to have a page on that? Yeah. So basically, it's a pattern that comes initially from architecture, but it applies also as well on code, and it's from the book from Michael Feathers on how to work with refactoring legacy code, and the idea is to introduce smoothly breaking changes to an existing method or classes. And the way it's great, actually, it allows you to do this step by step and having like 2 versions of the code living next to each other, and you can go really like step by step with that. We all had before, like, I just want to change a method and it breaks 50 files in the solution and it takes me 3 days to come back to a green stage. Well, with a Strangler, you can go step by step and go one by one and having both of them still working, actually. So can you maybe show it directly in action, Yoan? Because if you want to read the page, I mean, the page is available.
So why we want to introduce this concept today, because it's a really good way. It's always a question. Okay, if, when you run some workshop on TDD, you have probably already made some katas like I don't know, FISBuzz, Roman numerals, and stuff like this. But it's always the same question. Okay, how I can apply it on an existing code base? Part of the answer can be a Strangler pattern. Yeah. So maybe we can start by the times method, or we can go directly on the portfolio. Maybe it will be more interesting on the portfolio.
As you wish.
Yeah,
as you wish.
It won't be interesting from here. So let's say, yeah, let's spend some time. Now we have introduced our concept. We don't care about those methods. We should finish it, but it won't be interesting. Yeah, sorry, I don't know. Portfolio. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, okay. I thought it was working like this, but yeah.
No, you dragged him under, and
yeah,
there was another screen. So
I don't know why.
That's okay.
My fingers.
No comment.
My fingers are too old.
Okay, so let's take the, which one do you want to work on?
On the head. We need to start. We would like to have, let's say I would like to have an evaluate method that has this signature. So I want an evaluate method that takes a bank and a currency in which I want to evaluate my portfolio, but I want to have as a return type, I want to have the money. Okay,
let's go for it.
Okay.
So here, something a bit weird, I mean, is we can't, so the idea is to create actually a second evaluate method with a different signature. Okay, and what we want to do is to have like an old version of evaluate and a new one, and the idea is to have the new one calling the old one. So this way, both methods are working, and then switch like the code iteratively from one method to the other. We'll have here a slight problem because we are just changing the return time. And this is, so it means that both of them will have the same signature from the IDE point of view. So we have to tweak this a little bit. So can you go, the first test that you have is, can you go line 26, please? And I would like you to type like money, or money results equals portfolio dot evaluate new of bank USD.
Okay.
And is equal to, oh no, sorry, no, that's fine. The session, my bad.
Yeah, we cannot do it. We are not in fluent session.
Yeah, my bad, my bad. No, but so you can stop right there because we have actually what we want there. We have the red from the IDE on line 27, and we want to generate the method from there. So even if we're not writing something new, remember what I said before, the red cycle needs to start with something failing. In that case here, we have red from the compiling, which counts as a starter. And we always have to start from a test, even if we are refactoring, always.
Okay, so I are creating the method for my IDE and return none.
Okay, so now I want you to come back to the test and use a new one in the test and verify that the test failed before going further.
So you want me to use the money here?
Money is equal to new money of 15 USD.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. I when someone is entering the room, I have some feedback from. So it should be this. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you run the test, it should be red normally. Did they run? Oh, they are.
Yeah. It's
okay. So we are where we want to be. So that's the start of our cycle. So if you remember as well, the idea is to go from red to green as fast as we can. Right now, the fastest way to do that, if except are coding the value, is to call actually the old method. So can you do that?
Yep. Okay. So if I understand correctly, I want the money and I want to call the old method or formal method. Let's say it like this, and I pass to currency as well. And so I have an amount, and I need to pass a currency. That's it.
Okay.
Okay. I have a feedback loop. Yeah. I have a feedback loop here saying that.
That's Java. My bad.
Yeah, we are in Java. Yeah. So I can run my test again.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And it works. So right now, so it's what we said before. We have two versions of evaluate that are currently working. They return two different things. So now we have two options. It's either we use the new one more in all the tests that we have to make sure that the old one is not used externally, or we already replace the behavior on the left. So do you have any preference?
The second one, and I would like I would love to work as well on it after it.
On the add
method.
directly?
Yeah.
Okay.
But as you prefer, but
no,
yeah,
I trust
as
you.
I can see, it would be hard to use it.
The only thing is we'll have like 4 public methods at the same time on the portfolio, and I think it's better to go like, let's do one, close it, and go to the second one.
Okay, so let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. It's fine for me. So what is the next step? I should.
So I think you can replace. I mean, you can invert both behaviors. Make sure that the evaluate new contains a behavior, and then call it from the old one.
Okay. So basically, I could do something like this and hit the method. Yeah, you cannot do it. Refactor, continue. Because by default it says okay. Okay. So it's a bit magic, but
yeah, but that's what did
it was too far. It just replaced it in each test. Yeah. Okay, so I want
you should use your IDE wisely. Yeah,
that's why. Okay, I will just do it like this for now. So first step, I copy paste this code. I copy paste the code of the former one. I take the result. So where are you? Converted result. Yeah. And I can run my test, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you also need to then, well, let's see first. Okay.
Yeah, I do it step by step. And then I can really replace, so do the opposite. So we will kill the evaluate method by doing it at one point. So, and I can code it like this, bank to currency. And here we are just interested by the amount.
Okay. So can you run the test again?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's in progress. Okay.
Okay. So can we, because now, so we managed to move the code to a new version of the evaluate method with a different signature. Can we get rid of the old one?
Yep.
Because right now, I think we need to replace the evaluate by evaluate new in every test and then get rid of it.
Okay, so I can do it like this. I would just use a cool replacement feature. It's the opposite. Evaluate new. Let's do it like this. So I can skip this one and replace.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan of that because you change like 4 tests and you don't. I mean, we know it's simple, but you see what I mean? Because right now you have 4 tests that are failing. 3, my bad.
Yeah.
Because you need to return your money. So this, folks, is a shortcut that you shouldn't do. I think we do because we want to show you many things. So you need to understand that.
Yeah, it's not the most interesting part. Let's say that I will take this. I will take this.
KW.
Yeah, I will run my test again, and I should have still 2 not passing.
USD.
Yeah, USD. And if I take a look at it,
and last one is an exception.
Yeah, so it's still the same. Yeah. Okay.
No, but you have one failing still, no?
No, I need to run it again.
Okay. Yeah. So right now, if you go line 21 on the left, file on the left, you see that evaluate is gray, meaning it's not used anymore, and you can say delete it.
Okay.
And the only thing you can now rename it, and we were able to do the plumbing to go from one method to the other. And that, I mean, it's always like a simple example. During the course of the workshop, it's a practice that we use a lot, and especially when the code base is really bigger. So it's very effective, and doing that on legacy code is really a lifesaver, and it will remove you a lot of headache and days of doing plumbing again without knowing if things will work. Here, you know that things can work in every step of the process. So that's very interesting.
And
I don't know where we are in terms of timing, so I think you can still have time to do the add version.
Okay, so let's do it like this because it's even more obvious when you do it like this. So we always start with a test. We make it red. So here I say, okay, we have a new expectation for the add method. So we want to have an add method in portfolio that takes in input as an argument a money, because here we would like to remove it as well. So not having only a money from evaluate, but we would like to have as well something. We don't have any more amount currency as an input. So we can say, okay, from the test, I have a new expectation. I say I want an add method that takes money, and I think we are not immutable for now. Yeah, I need to check.
So here it's easier because the signature is different, and we can directly generate it from the test, which was not the case for the previous.
Yeah. By the way, a cool feature I will show it after it if you don't know it. So here I can run my test again. So I have a new expectation for my test. I express a new expectation from the portfolio, and as you can see, it's failing. Yeah, because I don't have it in my portfolio. I don't have any implementation of the add method. So let's do it as we have done. I do it really quickly. So first step.
You need to call the add method before putting the behavior. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry for that. Yeah.
You go too fast, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm too fast.
But we've done this too many times. That's why.
Yeah, when you demo money sorry. Money.currency. Yeah. So first step. So let's do it. Let's make it green again as fast as possible. So first step, we use the former one. Now we have it. We can do the opposite, and I will do it just right now. this dot add the new money. And yeah, I changed too much of keyboard and everybody's as well. But I need to take a look at my keyboard, and I can save this. Okay. I can plug the former one. So it's money, currency, and money, but amount. Yeah, let's run our test again.
Good.
Yeah, okay, we are agreeing. So we can refactor, because here, I don't know what you think about it, but I don't think we need it as well. We need it anymore. It can be simpler.
So I agree with you. I just don't know if we should do that now, or if we just finish to do the strangler on the add method and do the refactoring after.
As you prefer. Okay, I can finish the refactoring. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say here I just want to use a new method from here. Okay, let's do it like this. I run my test.
This one should be faster to do than the previous one.
Yeah. Do it like this. I run it again. I do it in parallel. Yep. Okay. Yeah. Someone is entering the room, I think. Yeah. I lose the focus when someone wants to enter the room. Okay, like this and like this. Okay, run it again. I think we are good. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes you don't have feedback from IntelliJ.
Maybe because it's used somewhere. No.
No. Sometimes,
okay, that's fine.
yeah, it's just the tool. I know it. Sometimes we didn't have this behavior earlier on the evaluate method. But sometimes you have it. I think it's when two methods have the same name. We didn't have it because earlier we called evaluate and evaluate new, and we didn't have it. But yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, now we have the feedback loop from IntelliJ saying, okay, add is not used, so we can remove it safely.
So
okay.
now you can do the refactoring you wanted to do.
Yep. Okay. So what we can do is to say, okay, I can express it like this. So what we want is something really small and really easy to use. So I just want to write it like this. I want to have basically a list.
Just while you go through, because we said we always have to start from the test to do something. Right now we are not. The reason is what we are modifying is the internals, and they are not visible from the outside. So there's no way for this to start from the test because it's really hidden. It's encapsulated basically inside the class, which is fine.
Yep. And we want something really easy. So for now, I won't generate classes from here because I just want to use a list of money and I will see the impact of it. Sometimes I can discover stuff like this. I use my IDE and compiler as a feedback loop. So from here, if I want to run my test, yeah, I can see I have a problem here because there is two for loop inside the evaluate method. So my priority is to make our test green again. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As fast as we can.
As fast as we can. So fast, I don't know. Let's say I want to iterate on
best
money.
Effort.
Money, and I go through money, not amount. And here you should discover, we have discovered something by changing the implementation as well. Say here we still have a couple to do. Refactor the convert method. So if you take a look at the convert method, it's exactly the kind of stuff that we would like to fight. We would like to have a method called convert. We pass the money and the currency, and that's it. So we need to refactor it. So because we are in a refactoring, we won't go into a new refactoring, go inside the convert and make the changes. We go step by step. So we are focusing on our current refactoring.
This is important when you are doing something like that, like whether refactoring or a new implementation. You will discover things along the way, but it's really important to resist the urge of doing everything at the same time. You need to make sure that it's like one cycle, I do my cycle, and then I will cycle about the thing that I want to do later. So, I mean, you should not put comments in the code. to-do comments to make sure that it's like what's going to be my next cycle is an exception. You can do that as long as it doesn't stay over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is everything passing? I didn't see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And please
okay,
use to-do comments wisely. Don't have 500 to-do comments in your code. Otherwise you won't use it. So
yeah. Another thing about the tooling on that, actually, because it's a case in writer and I assume IntelliJ as well. If you want to commit something that contains a to-do, it will tell you before you commit.
Yep.
So
yeah, you have it. Yeah. Check to do.
Exactly. So basically, if you commit right there, you'll have a pop-up like you have pending stuff. Are you sure you want to commit? And it's a good way to not forget them, because they should not go on main or trunk, depending on how you call it.
Yeah, and in the other steps, the code is not doesn't look like this. So yeah, we use a try catch, we use a for loop, we use exception and stuff like this. In each step, we introduce new concepts, and the code evolve with those concepts.
I mean, because we basically, I mean, the remaining stuff here is to tackle the bank as well, the to-do that we did. But overall, when you look at it, so we tackled primitive obsession. By doing that, actually, the code makes more sense. Our meta signatures are smaller, and the code is smaller as well. We win at every level. And that's something we can do everywhere, in every code base, putting domain ideas as a value object somewhere. That's very useful. And this is something we should do often, very often.
Yep. And one word for those who are working on Java and maybe you haven't seen record in action. So a record type is really something that looks like this. So I didn't mention it, but basically you have a constructor array, but you have a primary constructor, let's say it like this. And the cool stuff regarding records, well, there are plenty of them, but you can write stuff like this. So here we say, okay, assert that portfolio.evaluate in USD this portfolio, evaluate this portfolio in USD and check that the result is equal to new money or 15 USD. So it's basically when you use record, it won't use the classic equals that you are used to. It will make what we call a value equality. So it's not a reference equality, but it's a value equality. So it's basically saying, okay, two records with the same values are the same. So it's really cool because you can write tests like this, and you could go further with what we call test data builders and stuff like this. But you can write this kind of stuff just by using record, and it's immutable data structure. Well. Yeah, it's in C#. It's if you do some Kotlin, it's what we call data. I don't remember data class and case class in Scala. If you're on the JVM and you want to use it,
cool.
And it's typed in C#.
So I think it's done for the demo because I think we are on overtime compared to what we scheduled. So I think we can just go at the end of the Miro and show basically an overview of what's next actually. So yep. As you can see, so we saw before 1.2 was basically done before the workshop, but it's what we assume in terms of role playing. We did the third one almost, and the idea is to then go up to the step 12. So for example, as Yoan said, the idea is to remove every loop that we have because they don't serve any real purpose, to use only immutable types, to avoid exceptions, please avoid exceptions, to use then monads, because yeah, we tackle monads as well, property-based testing, example mapping, redesigning using property-based testing, acceptance testing, and then clean architecture. Actually, it was before. Yeah. So that's basically the path that we take during the workshop. And in the middle, on the yellow post-it, you have every idea or topic that we address during the workshop.
Almost every topics.
Almost.
Yeah. We're not exhaustive here. We have maybe missed something. Regarding BDD or whatever. Maybe it's behind acceptance testing. I don't know how you call it in your teams, but it's really this idea. Yeah.
Something we didn't say, and I think I really want to say, the the workshop itself, when we did it, it didn't have like this agenda from the beginning, because it's an exercise that Yoan and I did, and every step that we did was based on what we did on the previous one. It was really like a natural evolution for us from the code base. It's not like we want to do all this list of topics and let's find a way to put them. It was really a natural evolution. And for example, we stopped at the step 12 because it makes sense to stop there. We could go further because we want to tackle more things over there. But it's an exercise that we did for real. And all the step-by-step guide that you see are for real as well. So where have we been?
And last step, I just want to demo that we have finished the let's say the steps by just introducing some Kotlin inside the exercise. So if you just to demonstrate that you can really mix some languages when you use languages like Java or C#, you can really mix the usage of the language to use the language that fits the best your needs. And we wanted to promote an architecture style, what is called functional core and imperative shell, and you can really mix the language. So saying I have an imperative shell in Java, it's the way we have implemented it here, and you have a functional core in another language like Kotlin or Scala or whatever, and you can really do it.
You could do the same with C# and F#, for example.
Yeah, for example, yeah. If bringing some functional programming paradigm in your code base makes sense, you can really think about using a new language, maybe another language in your code base. I wanted to demonstrate it as well. So yeah, as you can see, it's not, the code doesn't look the same. It's in Kotlin for sure, but we have acceptance tests.
But I think if I remember well, when you did the change from Java to Kotlin, we lost like 20% of fat on the code.
That's why I wanted to demonstrate it. Yeah, if you take a look at the exercise, I would just want to demonstrate it. Yeah, we have something like almost 30% of the code have been
you're
deleted.
not in the right folder. You have to go in Java first.
Yeah, thanks. Docs.
So at the root, if you go into docs, it's all the facilitation. But if you want to see the step-by-step, you have to go in /language/docs, and then it's a step-by-step. Yeah.
Hi, my connection is really quick.
I see that.
Yeah. So basically, the idea was to say, okay, by using a different language with the same functionalities, we have almost 30% of code of less line of code from Java to Kotlin. So yeah, on a small code base, it does. Yeah, it's not that much in terms of lines of code because it's a really small code kata exercise. But on a huge code base, it can really have an impact. And you mentioned it last time. I work in a company where they have 25 million lines of code. So reducing by almost 30% is really huge in this kind of context. So it's maybe something like 12 million of line of code that could be deleted. It's not really deleted, but that will be done with 30% less code.
Yeah,
same features.
It's this amount of line that less to maintain for you.
Yeah.
So that's really a lot. Also, we put in the green post-its over there the different libraries that we're using in both languages. So we follow the same path in both languages, even if each language has been done to a different person, and sometimes it may be a bit different in the order of what we do, or maybe the way we do it, because we are two different people. But we use for those topics different libraries, but we tackle everything with external packages. So we have like a matching correspondent for everything. So we have for testing the couple GUnit in Java, but we have XUnit fluent translations in C#. PyTest and Striker are for mutation testing. Vaver and LanguageX are for bringing monads and
a functional programming paradigm inside your language, like Immutable collection for free. Different kind of functions that you can use, and especially monads, like either a try or option, for example.
We have G-unit quick check and FS check for property-based testing. We have Cucumber and SpecFlow for acceptance testing. And then you have Kotlin in
And
Java,
you will have,
and I will have F# also over there. But that's because it's a work in progress on my side. I've been the lazy one.
Okay. Oh.
And just to say it again before I let you on your side, everything there, everything you've seen is open source and free. So the workshop is available on GitHub in every language. The knowledge base is free and open source as well. So there's a website is available, so repository is available, and we are open for contributors as well. And the card game, virtual card game, is free as well. And we have a physical version that, I mean, costs money because we have to print it. So, but everything is there for you if you want to try something, or if you want to just look at what we did, and if you're interested.
Yeah. And for those who are in Lausanne on Thursday, I will be on site. So I will be at Agile to Lausanne. I know Alexandre will be there as well. I will give a talk called Les Aventures d'un Facilitateur au Pays des Tech. So it won't be a technical one, but I will be there, and there will be some card games, some Xtreme TDD card games to win, 3 of them. So if you're interested, don't hesitate to come. And if you want to go further on Xtreme TDD, I will be on site on Thursday. So if you are at Agile Tour Lausanne, don't hesitate to come to me, and we can talk about it and chat about it, and have some sharing session regarding this or other topics. I'm really interested to to meet new people, to meet other people. So don't hesitate if you see me. Thank you all. I don't know if you have questions.
There was no question in the chat during the session.
Okay.
And it's now any question? Or you can wait and come Thursday in Lausanne and ask all the questions to Yoan.
Yeah, can be done like this as well.
Guillaume is not coming.
No, I'm not.
Yeah,
but
so
I will answer on LinkedIn if needed. That's not a problem.
Yeah, we are available on LinkedIn, Twitter, and stuff like this. Everything is we can share the link. So I can see that you have you have shared the link on the Miro. So perfect. So you can go on Miro. We can add maybe our LinkedIn links if you want to connect. We can share it at the end of the board. So Yoan, this one.
yeah, so there's a comment. It was too fast.
Yeah, that's I agree, and that's the problem here is the format. I mean, because we have 1 hour where we have to explain, show, and Q&A after, and so I totally agree. And it's also because we may be too enthusiastic. We want probably to show too many things, which happen all the time. So keep in mind that initially we need 3 days if we want to do in full. Yep. So the thing is now, I mean, the goal here was to provide everybody an introduction, but you can take the code base yourself and do it step by step. And even if you need help over there, I mean, you ping us or you go check Yoan in Lausanne and he will help you right there. And that could be a good way to do. You need to plan a pair programming session over there, maybe with people who come.
Anyway, next year is going to have like 1 or 2 presentation, and then only it's going to be kata, mob programming, and so on. We're going to do in Lausanne, try to do in Sion and Geneva included. We started already this semester with some kata. And why not? We're going to take maybe one of your kata and try to resolve together with the community.
Yeah, why not? Yeah. And Olivier, just like you said, Guillaume, it wasn't the first time someone mentioned it. So it's an idea. If we do it, if we make some coding capsules on YouTube, we would like to do it really well, and we need to record it. We need to have a good setup and so on. So it's not that easy to do, but at one point we would like really to do it and explain what we have done today in really small capsules, but we need to record them.
We always prefer doing that in person. Because I mean, showing, for example, a pattern or something is very interesting. But I mean, what I like the most is what the discussion that happened afterwards. You know, like exchange your experience. What did you like? How can we do this? I don't know, like differently, or do we have more examples, or maybe like a bigger code base where we can try? because it's we are not. I mean, we're not selling anything because we're not taking money from it. But the idea is to try to help people from that and showing that what we show here is not just for fancy things or like just for a small kata. It's really applicable on big code bases as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we when we organize it, we have organized it in our craft Luxembourg meetup, and it was really small sessions with small sessions during the whole summer, 2 hours a week, and with 2 groups of 4 people maximum, because we want to do it in mob and we want to push to be there and to have everyone on board, not have someone who is not able to follow. And we want to have some connection inside the team, inside the mob as well, and share practices between participants as well, because we learn a lot from participants as well. So it's really a win-win situation when you do it like this. You organize this kind of session.
I just want to say hello again to Cedric because he joined one of our sessions previously, and to reply to Olivier. Because we may have another iteration for that, but this last August we did a summer camp for that. So what we did is a free online summer camp every Tuesday in August, and we were able to do that for like 7.5 hours. But it was limited to a certain number of people also because we wanted to have only 2 mobs. But a lot of people asked us to do another one, so maybe we'll do another one. The only thing I can ask you for that is try to follow either one of us, and maybe look around. If you do another one, try to register, and I think we'll do that because we have a lot of people asking for us to do that. So Dragos, the price for a workshop, I mean, so if it's the summer camp itself, it was free. I mean, we don't do that for money. The only thing is the last one we did for the 2 entire days, it's a different configuration because we need to take days off for us. We need to have a room. We need to plan for meal, for breakfast, for everything. So it's a different setup. And we did that for what I consider a small price for 2 days. And I don't know if we're allowed to talk about money here. I don't know what to say.
I would say just get in a private message.
Go DM me. I will fill you in the details. That's okay. I mean,
it's really cheap compared to what you can pay at Lausanne or Geneva or Sion as well. I think so.
Yeah, no, I'm expensive. I know.
But and Olivier, no, Dragos, sorry for this on site. I don't know if we're going to make another one. That's too early to tell. I think that for this time we'll tell, I guess.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you guys, are you coming in one other craft conference next year? You are there in some plan?
Yeah, we have just we have just answered to the to the new crafts in Paris, to the new crafts call for speakers. Yeah, and for now it's the only one. Yeah.
Okay. For me, I will be next week in API Days in Paris, but not for Xtreme TDD, for another thing. But that's not talking too much about personal life for Yoan, but this is taking some time off. So early next week, next year is going to be a bit quiet. So for physical on-site stuff, I mean, remote, we'll see. It depends.
Yeah, we can do. Yeah, we'll see next year. Yeah, Drago. So yeah, we'll explain it. Yeah, we can make a private group on LinkedIn, for example. If you're on LinkedIn, Dragos, we'll explain it to. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, if you do online workshops, I'd be interested to. Yeah.
Okay.
I think we'll do again online. That's not really a problem. That's very easy to set up.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay, so thank you very much for, if there's not any other questions, if you want to contact them for any commercial things, you need to contact directly. That's not a place. It's a community event. This is mostly the reason, and it's still recorded. It's the other one.
That is correct.
After I need to hide the price. Has less fun, that part. Okay, so thank you very much. Have fun. Happy New Year and whatever events you have end of year. So as I say, we're gonna come next year with 1-2 max remote event, and the other event will be on site in the 3 sites, so Geneva, Lausanne, and Sion. I don't know if it still have some entrance for the Socrates event in Switzerland. You need to go to look. I think it's still only the lottery seat are still available. It's already been taken. It's like the Paleo, if the one know the Paleo, the one are living here. In a few hours, all the seats have been sold out. I'm part of the lucky person. I know. So I will be there. I will be there in Grison with all the community from Switzerland. So it's going to have the Ticino and Zurich and the Ramandi will be there too. So I hope to meet most of you guys or girls. And then maybe to other events. And I hope that sooner or later we can invite on-site you guys. Well, you're coming already in Thursday, so we're going to meet at that time. I'm in the session just before you.
Yeah. Just 1 hour earlier. Yeah.
Okay. I asked it because they put me on the same time session, and I asked them to switch.
Okay, cool. So see you on Thursday. Thanks for the invitation. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us, and have a great evening. Yeah.